Buddy, I figured it might as well do the stories that I promised I was going to do. Hold on 1 second, see if I can bring my screen up. Oh, okay, I didn't want to do that. And sorry about that. Excuse me. And yeah, before anybody wants to talk shit about it, at the moment, I'm sitting in my bathroom. I'm not in the toilet. I'm actually having a cigarette in here. Long story short, I really can't technically smoke in my house or whatever like that. Because I mainly try to keep it away from my kid and everything, but, you know, I live in Connecticut, it's cold out and everything, so what I do when it gets very, very cold out, I will come in the bathroom and just kind of chill by the window, and this way it doesn't stink up the house, and I can do it without being cold. So yeah, as you can see, I'm not in the toilet, if you can see that. I don't know, I have a front-facing camera going, so I don't know if it really showed. So before anybody talks shit like that, so let me just get that out of the way. Anyway, that's not the point of this. The whole point of this story here, I said I was going to do it. I know it's been a while. No one really requested for it because I'm not too many people watch my channel. And I'm mainly known for doing reviews mostly. But lately I've been, you know, talking about a couple other subjects. Like, well, this one's going back to my last thing I made a video about, which was talkie.com. No shit. I don't know if it looks like that on the video when you guys see it, but I'm looking at my cigarette now. The cherry on it, for some reason, it looks purple. Now, I don't know if it's going to look that way after the filming's done, but that thing's freaking purple. You know, I'm looking at it, it looks like an old cherry red and everything, but on the camera right now, that thing is purple. That's crazy. I don't know if it's going to look like that when the film gets done. Again, I'm getting off topic here. Point of the video, like I said, I'm going to send this to this other guy that I was talking to about. Well, I'm not sending it to him, but I want to make sure he sees it too. Because I've been talking to this other guy on YouTube here. He's been talking about a similar subject. Because apparently this talkie.com thing, I've mentioned a little bit about it in the last video I did, but it was a nationwide thing to my knowledge. As far as I knew, at one time or another, every single state at one point had a line, like some states multiple lines. Like even in my small state of Connecticut, we had, at the time, I don't know, maybe like 5 lines. And keep on, we're not that big of a state. We have a big population, I'm not denying that, but we're very small in the scale of things. So, yeah, certain states, like I said, like even Rhode Island, the small state around, I think even they had like 2 or 3 of them or something. But now, you know, things have changed. They still exist, but like Connecticut, for example, I believe we have like 1, and I don't think it's even a Connecticut station anymore. Well, not station, phone number, I mean. It's technically a New York City number, but since we're by New York City, that's why they consider a Connecticut one, you know, as part of it. But it's annoying now, because I not like I go on it much anymore, but once in a while I do it just for the fun of it. And there's never been there. I never hear anybody mention that for Connecticut. Not that I really pay much attention to it, but still. I think next video I'll make in regards to this, I'll live stream myself going on there just for the fun of it, so you guys can see it in action. If there is anybody that actually does watch this, which I don't know, who knows. Anyway, story time. I've been babbling for 3 minutes here, so I apologize for that. The story I was going to tell is the one I think I mentioned in the last video that I was going to say this. It's well, I don't know. We'll see how long the video is, and either I'll make this be a couple different stories or one long one. But we'll start off with the bigger story, the one that may take the whole video, or it's going to take a majority of it at the very, very least. Depending on how long it is, I may fit another one in there too. This is the story on talkie.com. It's actually a funny story because it's not just a story of me actually meeting somebody on there, but it's actually a story about how I lost my virginity at the same time. Now, let me say right off the bat, this is a little bit of an embarrassing story for me. I'm not afraid to admit to it, because I told this to other people before in the past. This is as public as I've ever made it before, because, you know, I'm putting it online. But it's a story that, like, you know, even though it is a little on the embarrassing side, it's a story that, like, you know, I'm not super ashamed of. I am to an extent, but not to the point, like, I feel like the world doesn't need to know about it. I think it's kind of funny, too. Like, if someone told it to me, I'd probably laugh. So anyway, if you want to learn more about how the site works, my last video kind of explains a little bit more. But at the time, I was a young kid on the line there. I started using this site when I was 12. Actually, I was 12 years old at the time. Keep in mind, it's an 18-year-old site. Sorry, I know it's getting a little dark there. Let's see if I got a light on my front camera. Whoa! Okay, that's a little too bright. Let's just turn the light on here. I got a light on the front of my camera here, but it kind of looks like crap, honestly. Shit, I had better light in the bathroom. I would better off staying in there. Anyway, well, keep in mind, I was 12 at the time, and I was using it for a few years off and on, just, you know, mostly for fun. But a couple things I did do more serious with it. At one point, I wasn't necessarily trying to find a date, but I was figured I made an online profile on there to see what it would turn into. So, like I said, at this point, I was 15. It's a couple years after me first discovering the line. So I'm on there. I leave a profile. I just call myself Pip Daddy on there. I know it's a stupid name and everything that I called myself on there. At the time, I just thought it was funny. So I'm going on there and posing this Pip Daddy guy. To certain people, it was all just a joke, and I'd go on there just messing with them, and wouldn't reveal too much personal information about it. But once in a while, I would come across somebody from my area that I would actually, want to meet up with and everything, because you're in the same area as me, and I'm a young kid at the time. I didn't have a girlfriend, nothing like that, and I still lost my virginity yet by this point. So I would chat with a couple of girls and everything. There was a couple that I did meet off there and everything, which, most of them weren't really too bad. 9 times out of 10, I would just meet her, like, the one time, and that was it. That was with one chick. This other chick, I didn't realize it. I didn't know her personally, but I knew her brother. That didn't go nowhere either, but I hung out with her for the day, and then I ended up, that was the end of that one. But it was kind of funny, because I didn't realize I knew who she was through her brother. But this is the main one, the main story about this girl. Truth be told, I couldn't tell you what her name was. I completely forgot what her name was. Because on the line, people used a lot of fake names. I can't remember what her fake name was, real name was. I can't remember anything about it. The only thing I can remember is, at the time, she was 14, I was 15. Now, I live in Connecticut, like I mentioned. Now, at the time, I lived in Middletown, and this chick was from Meriden. That I do remember. So I'm talking to the phone, talking with her for a while there. She, I'm not going to deny it, she had a sexy voice, but don't, anybody young out there, or I guess even old, don't ever be that naive like I was being, thinking somebody just has a nice, sexy sounding voice and everything, that they're going to automatically be hot. 9 times out of 10, it's not the case. I suppose if you're the type of person that likes to do the whole phone sex things and like to yerk it, if you know what I mean, I guess that might work out for you that way. But other than that, if a girl sounds all sexy and pretty on the phone, and just, don't take it seriously, because, like, I was 15, I was young, naive at the time. I was an idiot for even considering that she might have been hot. I don't know, that was a big mistake by itself. But anyway, I guess you can kind of guess where this is going. I kept talking to her for a while, kept going for a while on the line with her, and as time went on, we eventually exchanged numbers, like, actual phone numbers. She had the number to my house, I had the number to her house, cell phones, all that crap. We were texting each other and all that stuff. And I keep in mind, I never met this chick, and me being a stupid, young, naive kid at the time, I would talk to her on the phone, tell her, like, that I liked her, love you, all the stupid kiddie bullshit that you guys say when you're young. And hold on one second. I'm going to pause this for 1 second. My daughter is talking to me. Hold on 1 second. Sorry about that. I had to take a little break. My daughter needed me for a moment. Anyway, where did I leave off? Okay, yeah. So yeah, I was talking on the phone. Stupid shit that most kids do. Hi, I love you. Considering, which was absolutely ridiculous. I didn't even know this person at all. And here I am on the phone talking to her every night, like it's my girlfriend, like I've known her forever, saying, oh, I like you so much, all of that. But I never even met this person. I only talked to him on the phone. Now, at this point, I didn't get catfish, because it's not like she lied and said she was all, like, hot and sexy, or sent me a picture or anything like that. At this point, I had no idea what she looked like. She kind of described herself to an extent. Now, she did leave out one very big detail, which I'll get to that in a minute, but she didn't really exactly lie. Her hair color was the way she described it, and all that was all pretty accurate. I guess the part she wasn't totally truthful about, which, no offense to the larger people out there, but she wasn't very honest about her weight. Now, as you can see, I'm not a big dude, skinny guy myself there. Now, not like that has anything to do with it. There's nothing wrong with a skinny dude hooking up with somebody that's larger for a guy or a girl. Nothing wrong with that. But let's just say, like, I'm a pretty average guy myself, so it's not like, I'm trying to look for someone that's, like, large because I'm large. I'm just saying, what I'm basically getting at is, like, that's not really my style. I'm not into, like, big women, really. Like, I like them with a little bit of meat, but, there's a certain line that, when it gets too far. And to put it very bluntly, this girl, she was way over the line. She was, never mind the line, she was over the freaking cliff. And that's what makes it kind of embarrassing. So anyway, eventually after talking to her for a while, we finally decided, I'm done with this chit-chat and phone nonsense. Time to meet this chick. Now, keep in mind, at this point, I told her how I'd never been laid before, and all other kind of shit. Now, apparently, she was more in love with me than I was with her over the phone, and she was all about wanting me to lose my virginity, because apparently, I guess she was kind of a little hoe, even though that she was this little 14-year-old girl and she was kind of plump. She had already been there, done that, and she wanted to help me out with that. Me being 15 at the time, I'm of course, oh hell yeah, let's do it. I was all, I was all excited. I'm finally gonna lose my virginity here and everything. I'm thinking I'm gonna maybe eventually date this chick and all that kind of stuff. So, anyway, comes time to meet. Now, Meriden and Middletown, they're pretty close. Middletown and Meriden are probably, I met her at the mall, which from where I lived was maybe driving wise 10 minutes, 15 minutes, not very far away. So I get dropped off over there. Now, like I said, I'm 15 years old, don't have a car, no license, any of that kind of stuff. So I had to get dropped off. And this was later in the evening too, so I couldn't even I didn't have money for a bus or nothing like that. Plus it was late, I didn't know what time the bus was coming, So basically I had to rely on her for a ride back through her parents there too. So I was basically I had no choice but to meet this chick, because otherwise I'd be kind of trapped. At the time I didn't even have a cell phone to call from, so to get a ride home and everything, I would have had to use this chick for a phone call and everything. Yeah, this is back in the day when that was, not everybody had cell phones. I suppose I could have borrowed someone's phone and done things that way, but I didn't. It was different times back then. It wasn't like now when everybody has a phone and you're weird to not have one. It was different back then. We still had pagers at the time. They were starting to not be popular anymore, but they still existed. So I'll put it to you about when this was. Now, because I'm 33 right now, and I was 15 times, so that was 18 years ago. So yeah, kind of a while. Some of you people out there probably are even younger than that. Some of them might even be around that age or not too much. So some of you people were babies when this shit happened. I might not totally look like it, but I'm kind of older. But anyway, that's all besides the point again. So anyway, go to the mall. I'm sitting outside puffing a cigarette, where I'm supposed to be meeting up with this chick about. So I'm out there smoking a cigarette, just kind of minding my business, waiting around. As time goes on, and of me standing in front of the building there, I noticed these two girls off in the distance. Now, these two girls off in the distance, one of them was Oompa Loompa. I'm talking short, probably couldn't have been more than 5 feet tall max, but wide. She was about as wide as she was tall. She was a big little girl there. She probably weighed at least a couple 100 pounds, if I had to say. She wasn't the biggest thing I've ever seen, but for her size, she was pretty big for her size. I'll just put it, it's as nice as I could possibly put it. Then she was with her much skinnier friend, which is more around my size, but the problem with her is she was ugly as fuck. Now, as bad as this fat chick was, she was at least prettier than the skinny chick. The skinny chick was that ugly looking. But it also was a big turn off this other chick being so large and everything. So I was turned off by both these chicks. And I just kind of figured being a mall and everything, it's pretty common for kids to be outside waiting for rides, friends, or whatever. So they could have been there for any reason. I'm just kind of saying to myself, I hope this isn't them. Just kind of saying that in my head. So I'm just kind of pacing around smoking cigarettes, keep kind of saying to myself, I hope it's not them. I hope it's not them. I hope it's not them. So after staying outside, it's been 10, 15 minutes at this point. Now, like I said, no cell phone or nothing. So it wasn't we could have called each other or anything like that. We just had to meet up. This was back in the day when you had to make plans over the phone to meet someone at a certain time and basically be there. And if they weren't there, you weren't there, you couldn't get a hold of nobody. Because cell phones, they were around, but they were expensive and kids like us didn't have them yet. So yeah, like I said, if we were both standing there, we didn't realize it because we could have called each other. But after a while, sure enough, 10 minutes standing there, they start walking towards me. And I'm just, mine was in business and everything, just hoping it's not them. Now, when I saw them walking towards me, I basically knew already in my head, oh, that's them, I know it. And I was really hoping it wasn't. First instinct I had was should I just run away or what should I do? I didn't know what to do. Because I didn't really necessarily want to meet up with them and everything, but then I kind of wanted to, but at the same time, I'm what am I going to do? I'm screwed otherwise. I got no phone, no way to go home, no nothing. Kind of have to hook up with this chick just to get home even. So they walk up to me, ask me, and hey, is your name Eric? Yeah, my name's Eric. And sure enough, it was them, I kind of figured. Now, after I saw them, I knew they were totally unattractive towards me. Now, that doesn't mean I couldn't be their friends, because I got friends that are chicks, some that look hot, some that are not. So they were talking about going back to the house and smoking some pot and everything, which at the time, I was quite the pot smoker at the time. So I figured, just leave it at that. Let's go smoke a little bit of bud, hang out, chill. maybe tell her like something like, yeah, I don't want to do nothing right now, I just met you, blah, blah, blah. Try to feed some bullshit like that. So, anyway, we walked to her house, do just that, we smoked, she had a little bit of booze with her there, so we did typical stuff that teenagers that age do, drink, little drinking, little smoking. Sorry, I heard a bang outside. And, so yeah, we're doing all typical teenager stuff, just kind of hanging out and partying away. Now, the ugly skinny chick, she was all with some dude over at their house. They were all over each other, making out and grabbing her junk and all sorts of nasty shit. Like, it kind of grossed me out to see her mess with somebody because she was pretty fucking ugly. Now, there was another friend that was there that wasn't there when they met up, and he was already at the house, keep in mind. This is the one that was meeting up with me, the little chubby girl there. Fat is probably a better way of putting it. But anyways, her house, her friend was already there waiting for us. And her other friend walked over with us. Now, her other friend, she was nasty as well, too. She was probably the best looking out of the three. But still, nothing special. Now, she's messing with this one dude. The skinny, ugly one there, she's messing with this other dude. And apparently, the short, little chubby one is supposed to be for me. Now, these guys are all, like, getting down and everything. They're all partying away, all over each other. And everybody's all happy and smiling about it. And I felt awkward as hell. It's not a big deal that I didn't know anybody or anything like that. I don't care about that kind of stuff. Just the fact that, like, I felt embarrassed, honestly, that I had by far the worst one out of the bunch here. She's really not that pretty. She's pretty friggin' large. And I just hoping I can just like her as a person and leave it at that and just enjoy it for what it was. But, it wasn't like that. Everyone was getting down to the point they weren't exactly having sex, but if one went any further, basically they would have been. I mean, with saying that, the best one out of the bunch, one that was already there waiting, I guess, the hot one, I guess you was, I'll call her. She first took off with her guy there, then the skinny one took off shortly after. Now, apparently, they took off to do just that. They wanted to go screw, because they were, they had enough of, like, partying, drinking, and basically trying to, make out, and I guess whatever else they were doing, I don't even want to know. So they took off to go screw, because I guess those people actually were dating each other. And I was expected to, like, start dating this other chick. No, I didn't really want to mess with it. I just wanted to keep it as friends and leave it at that. But she's like kind of all over me. Now, I'm not really getting all over her. I'm hoping that she'll like take a hint and just kind of back off a little bit. But she's all over me, this chick is. She's got her arms wrapped around me. She's hugging up on me. She's trying to kiss my neck. She keeps trying to grab my junk and everything. Now, I'm not going to deny it. I didn't really push her away and tell her no, 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 which is probably what I should have done. But at the same time, I wasn't going at her either. Because, I didn't know, like, I don't want to make her mad, but at the same time, I didn't want to give her any, like, false messages. So then as we're talking about leaving to go screw her, she whispers in my ear quietly, "When they leave, I want to fuck you," is her exact words that she whispers in my ear, telling me that she wants to fuck me when these people leave. And then at this point, I'm really nervous. Now, it's not even about the fact that I'm 15 and never gotten laid yet, and I'm about to get laid for the first time. That's not the scary part. The scary part was that I really didn't want to do it with this person, of all things. But at that point, again, I'm thinking, what do I do? Should I somehow bail out? Do I just go through it? Like, what do I do? So I'm thinking to myself, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? So I'm thinking, this is going to be my first time ever doing this. And from what I've heard, the first time for any guy, like, it's always, it feels great, but it's horrible for them because they don't last long at all. Like they bust it out like very, very quickly because it's the first time. So the way I was kind of thinking at the time, like, well, look, maybe I should just go through with it because I'm not going to last long. I know that because I've never done this before, and it's not like anybody I'm going to feel bad about making a fool of myself in front of. And if I'm going to practice, it may as well be with somebody I don't care about, so I don't have to worry. Because even if I embarrass myself in front of her and she'll want nothing to do me, I won't really care. So I decided, it was kind of gross just to do it. And I'm not going to lie, I did it. They left. She, unfortunately, took off all of her clothes, which I didn't want all that. Believe me, it wasn't as good as it sounded. Yeah, she was naked. She was naked and everything like that, and it wasn't as good as it sounds. Yeah, I got to see her boobs and her little cooch there and everything. But, her blubber, her stomach there was, bigger than her boobs. Her vajayjay there was ridiculously hairy. Not to mention she, wasn't all that pretty to begin with. So that almost, I'm not even going to deny it. I almost felt kind of sick at that point. I'm not even going to deny it. But I almost felt kind of sick. It was actually kind of hard for me to do it. I feel kind of bad saying this about this chick, but at the same time, I don't remember what her name was, where she was. She might even, I don't know if she's going to somehow watch this. I kind of doubt it, but she might. regardless, either way, I did it. And I feel like an ass because I'm admitting right now I basically used her just to get my virginity lost. And I felt kind of a little bad for that reason, but either way, I did it. And then after it was all said and done, of course I left my wallet there like a fucking idiot. But I also borrowed a movie from her too, so in a way, I guess, so first got some movies as a mental memory. I think I still have the movie, as a matter of fact. It's this some Scream movie. Well, no, I don't have it. I forgot I had it for a while, and I recently got rid of it. But she called me up anyway the following day after this was all said and done. Because like I said, her mom gave me a ride home and everything like that. Now it's the next day. And she calls me up again like we were doing previously. Oh, what's up, baby? What's up, baby? How you doing? Oh, I love you this, I love you that. Excuse me. Throwing all that shit at me. I love you this, love you that. Acting like we're dating now and shit. Now, she could tell by my way I was talking that, I wasn't the same guy she was talking to before. And after a while, she comes out with it. I'm sorry, I got like a smudge on my screen. Like, so we dating now, she comes right out with it. And I'm kind of put on the spot there. I didn't really want to be a dick. I would have settled for being her friend, but, she clearly wanted more than that. And I'm like, no, we're not dating. I'm sorry. I just told her, no, we're not dating and everything. And I guess I must have made her upset because at that point I never talked to her again. She didn't call me, I didn't call her. Never did get my wallet back, never did get a movie back to her. We just never spoke ever again. Which is mainly why I can't remember what her name is. Because we always, we spoke on the phone a couple times, but we only saw the person that one time or that one time only. And that was it. Never talked to the person ever again, still to this day. Totally forgot what her name was, everything. So, for some reason, you watch this video, mystery girl out there, whatever her name was. I do apologize about the incident, and I apologize about if I insulted you by anything I just said. But, what can I say? It's just, from my point of view, what happened. But, anyway, that's onestorytalkie.com. That went horribly wrong about me meeting somebody on there. So, as you see, it doesn't always turn out good. 20 minutes. Well, okay, I'll tell one other short story just to add to this one. Because I'm, already going out stores. It's been 20 minutes. But I could sneak in one more short one. This one's not a very long one anyways. And this is another bad incident I had from the line there. There was this dude on there. Now, keep in mind, I used to go on there and, I guess in today's terms, it was called trolling nowadays. Back then, you could say it was trolling too, but over the phone. You go on there, you find random people, like girls, for an example. I used to do it with this dude at one point, too. So this guy started joining me. We would go on there and, find these random chicks on there that were on there trying to find dates or whatever. But we didn't know these people at all. We knew nothing about them. We'd just go on there and send them messages. Yeah, you fat pig. You're so fat and ugly. That's why you're up in Sloan trying to get dates and yada, yada, yada. Just say stuff like that to them just to piss them off. And it was funny, too, because they used to get pretty mad. But we'd just go on there talking some bullshit like that. And this dude that I was doing it with, keep in mind, this is an old guy. I'm a young guy, 15 at the time. Maybe I was 14 at the time. I forgot how old I was when I first talked to this guy on the phone. First started trolling people. Now, this is an old dude. You can tell by his voice he's old. And this guy also claimed to be this guy, Bruce Johnson. Now, those of you that aren't familiar with who that is, he's a member of the band The Beach Boys. I think he's like a drummer or something like that. He claiming to be him, which clearly he wasn't. Why would some famous singer be on some chat line there trolling people? Obviously it wasn't true. But me, I was stupid and everything. I thought the whole thing was funny. I didn't see it for what it was at first. After a while, I did figure out what it was. But this guy was, little by little trying to groom me. Trying to be all buddies with me, trying to talk to me and everything on there. Trying to get me to, fuck with people with him. As time went on and everything, this dude was all trying to get me, to meet up with him. Talk to him on the phone, outside the line and stuff. Which made no sense, because really what were we talking about? And just weird shit like that and everything. Talking to me, wanting to meet up with me and everything like that. He eventually, after a while, things got a little weird, and I just stopped talking to the guy then. And he actually came across my number somehow. I don't know how this really happened, but he did. So he kept calling my house up, telling me that, talking shit, calling me a faggot, all this other kind of stuff, calling me an asshole, telling me he's going to beat me up and shit like that. Then he also found out where I lived in East Hampton, too. So I got a little nervous at that point. He was calling me, telling me he's going to come find me and do this and everything else to me. At the time I lived with my dad and everything like that, so I wasn't super concerned, but this dude had my number and didn't know my address, but knew the town I lived in, talk about he's going to come out here to town and come, find me and stuff like that. Out in East Hampton, where I was living at the time. And he's describing places because like I said, I lived in East Hampton in Connecticut at the time. He's describing places, because that's my hometown, by the way, people. I don't care if anybody knows it out there. I'm not going to say whether I do or don't live there now. I will say I still live in Connecticut, and I'll just leave it at that. But the town I grew up in was East Hampton. I'll just leave it at that. I don't want no one messing with me or whatever else. So let's just say I still live in Connecticut now, and I grew up in East Hampton. I'm not saying where I live now. I'm just saying that's still Connecticut, and I'll leave it at that. Because I don't want no trolls messing with me, if you know what I mean. I know what you guys are up to sometimes out there. Anywho, he's all talking to me where I'm living in East Hampton. He's going to come out here and come grab me and do this and everything else. He's describing places East Hampton and everything, and describing like where McDonald's is, where this is, where that is. Claiming he's seen me in town and all that kind of shit, which he may have ran out of. I don't know. But, you know, he did describe me at one point what I looked like without me telling him, so I think he probably did. So it got kind of scary there. Now, I will admit, that didn't turn into anything after a while. The situation left itself alone. Nothing happened out of it. I didn't get, like, kidnapped, nothing like that. Nothing happened. I didn't get hurt. It's just some guy, like, weirdo talking shit and everything. But who knows what it could have turned into. This guy obviously was, like, a pedophile, friggin', like, pervert dude or something. I don't know what his deal was. Of course, this guy used to, like, go on and on claiming about how he used to, like, score with all these young chicks and everything like that. And he used to tell me, like, how he used to, like, have phone sex with these young little girls on the phone, which wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me at all if that was true. But this guy was a weirdo and he was a sicko, plain and simple. Which again goes to show you that just like a chat room, like on the computer, on the phone, it can be just as bad if you're not careful. Which I've actually heard about mad people getting beat up. I've heard about people being murdered and raped off of these lines. Which I think is why they minimized like the exposure to them. Now, like I said, you're supposed to be old enough to use them to begin with. And I guess you can use them properly and safely if you know what you're doing. But if you're stupid about it, you could get yourself in a whole shitload of trouble. And, you know, that last example especially is a good example of it. Or things will not go as bad. Or things could work out kind of like my story in the beginning and work out for the better for you. You know, who knows? It depends on the person and what happens. But anyway, I've talked long enough. It's been almost a half hour. That's my story about when I lost my virginity and the short story about this pedophile dude on there. I don't got too many other real stories from the line there because for the most part, those are the two biggest ones. All the other stuff that happened on there was a small petty bullshit and everything like that, just trolling people on there and just having fun with it. Occasionally threw away in people, like calling the line up and everything like that. Stupid shit like that. Nothing else too exciting, really, other than what I mentioned. So, I'll try to think if there's any other good stories I mentioned from that thing. That's probably all I can think of from that in particular. But I may add another story in the future about something different, or whatever, just for the fun of it. Or maybe I'll do another review video soon of some new product that I might get. Or something. I don't know. Well, I'll do it and see what I'll post next. But until next time, if you want to go check out Talkie.com, go for it. Have fun with it. Just be warned that shit could go wrong if you're not careful. Oh, that's what I'm going to do next, actually. I'll call it myself, but I'll live stream from it. I'll save that for another time. I'll give people a chance to watch stuff, and I guess I'll live stream from it. And I guess, you know, if people watch the live stream, great. If you don't, it'll save this video anyways. So, until that happens, let me know what y'all think. Thumbs up if you want. Subscribe, whatever you want to do. If you guys don't want to be a part of that live stream thing where I call the lineup, let me know. I'll try to give a time and date so we can do it all at once. Or if you're subscribed, maybe I'll just do a notification. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. And to that dude that I was talking with before, briefly about the line there, just for the fun of it, I know you said you used to go on it, and so did I. And like I mentioned before, there's different lines throughout the country. If you want, just for the fun of it, let me know what you want to do. If you want to do this, maybe we can meet up on the line together and kind of do like I was talking about trolling with that other dude. Maybe me and you could go do it on some random line just for the fuck of it. Not obviously, you know, we both know enough not to meet people on that thing anymore at this point in time, but just for the fun of it, maybe we could go on there and fuck with some people. Just for the fun of it. Maybe we could both live stream it just because it'd be like funny to do so. Something we could kind of converse with and kind of do together. Just for both our channels. It's not like we're either one of us are huge YouTubers, but something fun we could do together. Even if it's just for our own amusement. I don't know. If anybody's got an opinion, leave it. If you don't got an opinion, don't. If you don't give two shits about this video, you don't gotta pay attention to it. You don't gotta watch it. If you liked it, cool. Hope I entertained you. And until next time, peace out.